will say good day to you this day of your time. How are you all? All right. First and foremost, we would like to extend to each and every one of you our deepest appreciation for the co-creation of this interaction this day of your time. Each and every time you allow our civilization to experience any one of you or all of you together, you give us a new perspective of creation for which we thank you, because it expands our understanding of all the things that all that is can be. We would like to return the gift by sharing with you the information in the following way that we would entitle flipping the switch. What we mean by this is as follows. Many of you have now begun to understand the concept that you have called parallel reality. We have often used the analogy of your own television sets to illustrate the point that many, an infinite number of parallel realities coexist in a sense, side by side with yours. Universes in what you call a collective multiverse, each of which is discrete, distinct, its own reality, but operates on a different frequency so that you do not necessarily perceive it directly from your reality, and vice versa. The television analogy holds up in the sense that you know that when you're watching one of your programs, at any given moment, there are any number of other programs you could be watching that all exist at the same time, but the only reason you do not see them is because they are not on the frequency that you are watching. But when you change the channel, you get a different program, which is representative of a different frequency and representative of a different reality. The one that you were watching a moment ago hasn't ceased to exist. You know it's still there, it still exists at the same time as the program you're watching now. But because it exists now on a channel you're no longer on, because it exists in a different frequency domain, you no longer perceive it. Your senses are attuned to the channel that you have tuned to. So it is with the idea of what you call the experience of physical reality. It is really just an issue of different frequencies in your consciousness, different vibrations that create what it is you perceive reality to be. Because that all is going on in your consciousness. And that is all reality actually is your perceptions in your consciousness. There is no real physical reality, in a sense, outside of you. In fact, there actually is no outside at all. That's an illusion. What is real is the experience of the reality. That's what's real. The reality itself is just a reflection within your consciousness that gives you an opportunity to have a relationship with creation from a specific point of view. Now, the idea is, again, that there are obviously an infinite number of specific points of view, and you call each and every one of these specific points of view an entirely different parallel reality. And they are distinctly, in the same way you consider your reality to be real, they are just as real, or more importantly and more precisely, they are just as experiential, just as experientially real as the reality you are experiencing right now. In fact, what you think of as a reality that you are experiencing right now, in fact, is an infinite number of parallel realities actually all going on at the same time that you experience in or from the perspective you call succession or linearity or continuity. This is also an illusion. But speaking from a linear perspective, to use your linear terminology, you are experiencing every single moment. You are shifting every single moment from parallel reality to parallel reality. In fact, the very experience of motion itself, what you call the experience of movement in space-time, is actually the experience of shifting from parallel reality to parallel reality, because each and every distinct and discrete parallel reality is actually motionless, like a frame of film. There is no motion going on in any singular frame of film. In order to create the continuity or the illusion of motion, you have to run the frames past the projector, past the lens, past the light, and project them in sequence on a screen at a certain rate to create the illusion of motion. Again, physical reality is structured that way. So the idea is that when you make any movement at all, even this or this, that involves literally shifting through billions, yes, billions of parallel realities. Because this is one, 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 this is one. And there are actually billions in between. You shift through billions of parallel realities every second so rapidly, so smoothly, you actually think you're experiencing one continuously smooth, flowing, single reality, and you're not. So the idea to understand from this is that you are very much like a movie. You are literally living your own movie frame by frame by frame by frame. And the only reason you don't know, the only reason you can't tell that easily that you're actually shifting from one parallel reality to another billions of times a second is because the parallel realities you choose to shift to are so similar to the one you were just in, you barely notice that you've actually shifted to an entirely different universe. So the point is, you don't have to learn how to shift to another parallel reality. You're already doing it. The point is that you don't have to, in any way, shape, or form, learn how to shift immediately or faster than you're already shifting, because you're already shifting as fast as you can. The point is, if you want to be able to tell that you're shifting, all you need to do, since you're already shifting as fast as you can, since you're already shifting totally from one universe to the other, all you have to do is create a greater degree of difference between this parallel reality and the next one so that you will notice that you're shifting. The greater degree of difference you create in the next parallel reality moment, the more it will be revealed to you, the more obvious it will be to you that you are shifting instantaneously and totally all the time. So what we are talking about working on here today with the concept of flipping the switch and using the concept of your shifting through parallel realities to get a better bead on the idea, a more precise understanding of the idea of manifesting the parallel reality you prefer, is to focus on the idea of creating a greater degree of difference than you normally do, so that you will be able to feel the shift, to see the shift, to perceive the shift more viscerally, more concretely. And the idea, thus then, is to allow yourself the opportunity to let go of the definitions that you have been brought up to believe are necessary for the labeling and defining and designing of the parallel realities that you do already automatically experience, so that you can design, in a sense, the parallel reality that is more in alignment with the parallel realities or sequence of parallel realities that you prefer, that are more representative of your true nature, your true core frequency, your true natural self, your true vibration. So, the idea, and one way to do this, is to create, which we will do now with you, a particular kind of permission slip. And for those that are not familiar with that idea, all we are saying is any tool, any ritual, any technique is simply a permission slip designed to match the frequency of your specific belief system in such a manner as to allow you to allow yourself to give yourself permission to be more of who you are. It's simply, in a sense, a trigger that allows you to shift in the way you prefer to. The shifting is never actually done by the ritual, by the tool, or by the technique. It's simply something that matches your belief system so well that you think it's actually changing you. All it's doing is allowing you to relax your stronghold on one particular set of beliefs and relax them enough so that you're finally willing to give yourself permission to change in ways you say are more representative of your true natural self. So that's why we call any such technique, including the one we are about to deliver, simply a permission slip. And it doesn't matter for you, in a sense, whatever the permission slip is. Every permission slip that you believe will work for you will work for you. The idea is that you have an imagination, which is the conduit of communication between your physical mind and your higher mind, and through that conduit comes the communication from higher mind through the brain to the physical mind, and from the physical mind back through the brain to the higher mind. The imagination is the conduit of that communication. And by using that imagination, and specifically in this technique through the idea you call visualization, will we thus then design together here today a specific permission slip that takes advantage of your visualization capabilities, your imagination capabilities, your communication with higher self capabilities, to create a permission slip that you can use anywhere, anytime, and at the same time allow you to remember the most important thing, which is, if at any time your imagination decides to change the way in which you use this or any other permission slip, any other tool, technique, or ritual, then trust your own imagination, because your own imagination is keyed to your specific vibration. So be flexible enough when you allow yourself to use any tool, technique, ritual, permission slip, to be flexible enough to allow your imagination to alter it, change it, and adapt it in whatever way, shape, or form feels correct for you, because it is keyed to your vibration, and it's taking its cue from your vibration. And as you change your vibration, change your frequency, different permission slips, different rituals, different techniques, different tools will work better for you than the ones you used to use. So go with the flow. That's the natural thing to do, and trust that your imagination will automatically provide exactly what kind of alteration or adaptation is correct for you. And trust that the synchronicity in your life will lead you to whatever information you need, and when you find yourself attracted to it, you are attracted to it for the reason that at that moment it will work best for you. And if you change your mind in the next moment, that's all right too. So, with that caveat in place, allow us to begin to explain, before we actually do the exercise, what is going on in this flipping the switch visualization technique. What we are doing here is taking advantage of the fact that your physical mind has a great capacity. And yes, I know some of you say, I can't visualize. I believe you have a perfect word in your language as a response to that statement: hogwash. You all visualize, you just may not think you visualize in the way you are supposed to, but the way you visualize is fine. And when you stop trying too hard to visualize, you find that you will visualize just fine. So again, in whatever way, shape, or form your own imagination chooses to alter what it is we are about to suggest, just go with the flow, let it happen, whatever the natural way is for you. Don't think that you're doing something wrong because you're not doing it exactly as we describe it. You are immersed in this frequency. You are immersed in this communication with us. You are immersed in this exchange with us. You are immersed in our vibration, and yours as well, and the vibration of your own higher self. That's the most important thing. Let it come to you in the way that works best for you. Don't be too insistent that it must happen in the way we're describing it. The way we are describing it is just a structure, just a framework, just a tool, just a symbol, just a representation. Deal? All right. So, Nevertheless, your physical mind has great capacity to visualize, to imagine, to see pictures, to imagine scenarios. The idea is, here's the first thing to remember. We understand this may seem a little bit contradictory to what will follow, but this is the most important thing to remember. Whatever it is that your physical mind is capable of conjuring up as a visualization or an image of what to you represents an ideal life, an ideal circumstance, an ideal situation, is just a symbol, just a representation. Very often, many humans on your planet are raised with the idea that, and especially nowadays in what you call your New Age metaphysical awareness, you become fixated on the idea that what you picture has to become literally manifested exactly as you pictured it. No. The idea is this. The thing you visualize that is your representation, your symbol of that ideal reality serves one basic function: to get you in the proper state that is represented by that picture. Because circumstances and physical reality situations are just illusionary and don't really carry substance. It is the state of being that is the real reality, that is the real experience, and it is the state of being that really matters. It is the state of being that really matters, that manifests materiality, a material experience. The circumstances of how that manifests in that sense are not to be insisted upon as being just one way. Why? I'll tell you. Thank you. Your physical mind, while capable of having this visualization, is not fully capable of knowing how things could actually best happen. It's not designed to know how things will happen. The physical mind is only designed to know what's happening experientially. It is not designed to know how things will happen. Now you may say, but I can conceive of how things might happen. I can conceive in my imagination of images of things happening that haven't happened yet. No, not really. What you are experiencing when you conceive or imagine that idea is actually coming from the higher mind. That's part of the communication from the higher mind. The higher mind conceives. The physical brain receives. The physical mind perceives. That's how it works. The physical mind has never had an idea. Never. It is not the place where ideas are born. Ideas, concepts, imaginings come from the higher mind. But you see, the idea is that the physical mind and the higher mind must work together in concert in a balanced way for you to actually be considered a whole person. When you just think that the physical mind is supposed to do all the work and think of everything, you're actually only functioning as half a mind. Perhaps what some of you on your planet call a half-wit. The idea thus then is that you want to be whole-witted. And so you must allow for communication to occur, balance to occur, and sharing to occur with the higher mind in order to be functional as a whole person. So when we talk in this exercise about the idea of you visualizing an ideal reality, understand what's happening is the higher mind is conceiving that, sending it to the physical brain, which is then allowing the physical mind to perceive an image. But it isn't conceiving of the image. It's only perceiving an image. And more importantly, it's only perceiving an image that the physical mind is capable of interpreting as relevant. There may actually be more information in that image than you're actually capable of perceiving with the physical mind that is coming from the higher mind. And that's why it's so important that when you get that picture and you visualize something that you prefer or desire, that you not insist that it must come to truth the way you have exactly seen it. Because you may only, as a physical mind, be seeing half the picture. There may be far greater ways the higher mind can actually bring you the reality in a different format that is actually representative of the state of being of that reality, of the vibration you prefer in that reality, that you may not be capable as a physical mind of conceiving of, but can experience in physical reality when it's brought to you, when you manifest it. Because you can only experience it through the manifestation in physical reality. You cannot experience the totality of what that image represents when it's simply raw data coming from the higher mind. So that's why you need to relax the idea and relax your insistence that what you picture must come true, literally, specifically, as you have pictured it. Thus, then, when you relax that insistence, while it may be possible and maybe even highly probable that exactly what you saw is exactly what will happen, maybe, if you actually limit it to that picture, you could actually be preventing it from manifesting in a way that is even greater than you imagined with your physical mind. And why would you want to do that? Why would you want to limit it to simply what your physical mind is capable of thinking of or perceiving per se? Allow the higher mind to bring it to you in the way that is truly most joyful, truly most loving, truly most exciting, truly most creative, while at the same time simply using the visualization capabilities of your physical mind to get into the proper state represented by the picture, the proper state that will allow you the capability of being open enough to receive the actual fullness of the manifestation that your higher mind is sending you. Does this make sense to you? Yes. Does this make sense to you? Yes. All right. Now, here's the idea. Keep in mind everything we have said about specificity and about adaptation and allowance. At the same time, recognizing this is simply a permission slip, but can be a very strong technique because it keys into some very fundamental collective consciousness agreements you have all made about how you relate to the idea of physical reality. So what we're doing here is we're plucking the cords and, shall we say, rewiring the neurological pathways in your brain to take advantage of some very core concepts you've all agreed to abide by in physical reality. And here we go. Allow yourselves to relax. Take a deep breath in and let it out. Take a deep breath in again and let it out. And one more time, take a deep breath in and let it out. Now, again, there's no right or wrong way to this. You can do this with your eyes closed, your eyes open. You can be standing, you can be sitting, you can be lying down, you can be floating on the ceiling for all we care. Here's what you can begin to do. Just have an overall image, an overall representation of your life as it is. In whatever way that comes to you. Just paint a picture, like you're looking at a movie screen if you wish. And just see up on that screen, see yourself. See an image of you going about the things that you are already doing in life. Nothing different than what you're already doing. It can be anything on a day-to-day basis, this and that, big or small, doesn't matter. Just see yourself as you are. Now, when you are ready, blank the screen, wipe the screen. Now, replace it with an image of yourself going about your day-to-day business in what you consider to be, for now, your preferred, desired, ideal reality, your ideal life. Fill that movie screen with your image and look at all the things, create all the things in it that are representative of what the things are you would be going about doing in your ideal life, your ideal reality. Some of them may be the same. Some of them may be different. Whatever it is, just take a look at it. Now, in your mind's eye, put those two screens side by side or one above the other. Look at one screen that represents your life as it is. Look at the other image on the other screen that represents your life as you would prefer it to be. Notice the differences. Notice the differences. Notice the similarities, but notice the differences. All right, now stop. Blank everything. Open your eyes. Take a deep breath and let it out. All right, now, whatever differences you noticed, from small to large, are the things that represent vibrationally, symbolically, representationally, that ideal life. Whatever symbol you conjured up represents vibrationally that preferred parallel reality. Because that is a real, already existing parallel reality. And that version of you in that reality already exists as a real person in that universe, in that reality, which is a completely different reality than the screen that represents your life as it is right now. Again, allow yourself to remember the differences, but understand that these two realities coexist right now, simultaneously, interpenetrated, overlapping, only separated by the slightest difference in vibrational energy. Now, it may be a slight difference, but if the picture looks very different, then it is a difference that is enough of a difference in vibration that you are noticing the difference. And that's the key. Different enough that you notice the difference. Different enough so that it's not in your mind, as you are used to experiencing, a smooth continuity from one second to the next, but would be representative of some time passing in between. In other words, some of you might see the image of the life as it is now, see the image of the life that you prefer, and you might automatically find yourself assuming that it would require some span of time in order for one to change to the other. Did this happen for some of you? All right. The thing to understand is that it actually, in a sense, requires less time than you think, and in fact actually uses no time at all. When you decide, when you choose to actually be that person in that reality, it will happen instantaneously as a shift from whatever parallel reality you were experiencing a moment before that. But you can create the illusion of process, the illusion of time lag, the illusion of linear continuity to make it seem as if it's taking time to become or experience that reality. But that reality exists right now. So manifestation in this context is simply the degree to which you are willing to allow the definition, no matter how different it looks, to actually be real right now, to know that it exists right now, and most importantly, in this particular permission slip, to be willing to actually be that person in that representation right now. Because when you saw, if you go back now, close your eyes if you wish, when you go back now and look at the two images you created, and if you see differences in them, one of the differences you will probably see is a difference in how you behave in the two realities. Many people on your planet, when they imagine themselves going through their day-to-day existence as it is now, and then imagine themselves going through their day-to-day existence in the reality they prefer, will suddenly realize there is a great degree of difference in your behavior, in your body language, in what you're wearing, in your attitude, in your energy. Look at the difference in you in those two images. It is important to understand the following. This principle is paramount here. You cannot experience what you are not already the vibration of. So the idea is, if you see that version of you in that preferred ideal reality doing certain things, the you are now is not capable of experiencing those things unless you actually start being the person in that image. If you don't behave like that person, dress like that person, talk like that person, walk like that person, think like that person, feel like that person, you will not experience the things that person is experiencing, because that is not just a different version of you. It is a different person, literally, entirely. And you, the greater you, as a consciousness, can shift between the person you're experiencing yourself to be now and the person that is represented in that ideal scenario. That you, the bigger you, the consciousness that you are, will be the same, but the person, the physical construct, the temporary personality that you consider yourself to be as a physical being will literally not be the same person, because you are not the same person from moment to moment to moment to moment. As we already said, billions and billions of times a second, you're actually becoming literally, quite literally, not metaphorically, quite literally a new person billions of times a second. The idea again here is to pay attention consciously to the fact that you can design the person, design the reality to be different enough so that you can actually tell the difference, that it is really a different reality, a different you, a different universe. And that's what this exercise is designed to do, is look at the differences so that you can know that when you shift, you're shifting totally, utterly, totally, and instantaneously. There is no real time lag at all between becoming one reality and another, between experiencing yourself as one person and another. None whatsoever. But you can create this continuity, this illusion that there is, or you can start to let that go. Now, it will not let go entirely, of course, as long as you still have a reason to experience the physical reality idea at all. We are not talking about eliminating it completely, although from time to time, as you do these kinds of exercises, as you gain this kind of insight and this kind of knowledge, you may find space and time becoming a little more slippery. You may find things happening very rapidly, maybe sometimes even instantaneously here and there. This will be somewhat sporadic, but it can accelerate. Nevertheless, you will still retain some sense of space-time in order to have a context in which to experience the idea you call physical reality, but you can allow your experience of it to become something far more different than what you're experiencing now, accelerate it far more rapidly than what you're experiencing now. Again, not literally accelerating it. When I say accelerate it, I mean experience as if you were accelerating, because you're already shifting as fast as you can. You're already shifting totally. So you can't shift more than you do. You can't shift faster than you do. What you can change is your perception, your experience of the idea, so that you can become aware of the fact that you are shifting totally, shifting instantaneously. That's the whole idea to this exercise, to become aware of the fact that you're already shifting totally, already shifting instantaneously, and you can't go any faster. The way, as we said, to recognize that is to create a parallel reality that is different enough that you notice that you're shifting immediately and totally. So, going back to this flipping the switch exercise, when you now create for yourself, again, open your eyes, close your eyes, doesn't matter, but visualize, 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 again, this ideal reality and everything in it to the best of your ability. Again, understand that if you actually see this reality as your preferred reality, and you see yourself in it, a version of you in it, we're going to assume that if it's your ideal reality, that version of you is going to be behaving in a very energetic and excited and effortless way, creatively, lovingly, all the things you prefer to be if that's what you prefer to be. Of course, if you prefer to act like a sour curmudgeon, you may, if that's your ideal reality. We're not telling you what your ideal reality ought to be. Nevertheless, for the most part, because this is an exercise keying into your collective consciousness, most of you, when expressing positive energy, when aligned with the idea of integrating energy, will usually express yourself in a very loving, effortless, creative way. So the idea is